So I'm Scott Detweiler, and I'm here with Cecilia.
Hi.
And we're going to talk about our kind of upcoming collaboration with Spiros and what we're doing there. And we've decided on the theme of neon, and those videos are over on his channel. I did not get a chance to record them on this channel, so we're going to kind of break away in parts to discuss different aspects of the project uh, as we're approaching them uniquely. And we're both working with Cecilia, who's going to travel between the two studios for about 3 hours apart. So we'll get a chance to work with her on each of our concepts. So we're going to do the neon as the concept. So it's somewhat vague at this point, and that's okay because we both have wild interpretations that are different. Mine is going more towards the Mirror's Edge video game, Tron, and I'm trying to think in like some Neuromancer type of stuff. So Cecilia and I just thought we'd talk about this together with you and get some comments on what you think about the concept and if you have some thoughts. So I'll let Cecilia talk about kind of what she's envisioning for what she knows about my side of the concept, because Spiros is different, way different. So it'll be kind of neat. So I'll let you kind of chat for a bit about what you're thinking.
I definitely don't have anything set down yet. I definitely wanted to make sure that the concept that you're thinking of is the same thing that I'm thinking of.
But that's okay if they're
Um,
different because we might have different visions of what I'm going for. Like, I'm assuming you've seen the movie Tron, the newest one.
right, yeah, I've seen both of them,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So I'm trying to go with
We're not
that.
going with the cheesy bicycle helmets probably, but
No,
y-
no, probably not. Probably not.
I mean, I'm thinking you wanted it to be really sleek, so I'm definitely thinking vinyl pieces, but I know that um, I don't want anything to be too similar. I don't want to reuse wardrobe pieces or anything, but I'm definitely thinking if we're going with a sleek video game-esque type look for neon, we want to use some vinyl, but we definitely want to pop some neon in there too.
Yeah,
So I would probably incorporate that in makeup and accessories if we wanted to go for like a really sleek look, like city look almost.
yeah. I was thinking we
Um,
could even take like neon strip tape, for example, and go from the ankle all the way up to the shoulder across. Assuming you're wearing black. Black is kind of the vision that I had for what you're wearing.
yes.
Yeah. I mean, you own a lot of black.
Me too. It's typically what I go for. So
Yeah. So we could add some stripes like that to incorporate into the wardrobe. But so I think the easiest way to approach a project like this is to imagine you as a character. So
yeah.
let's say that you're, and this is what I have roughed in so far. I'm just going to say you're in this world, and you're not a stranger to it, meaning you're not like suddenly put there because that's just too cliche. But let's say that I'm going for that there's some sort of a. I was going for a sword because yes, that's cliche, but I like swords. So
Yeah.
let's say that but it's guarded. So you're trying to sneak into a facility to get to the sword. So I'm working with that whole Aeon Flux. If you've
Okay.
seen that anime or the movie, kind of understanding that kind of vibe. And
So almost like professional uh, new age thief going in to steal this weapon that I can use to, you know, my advantage or something.
exactly. And I
Okay.
I don't think that we have to worry about the end result. So let's say the end goal is actually pulling the sword out of the socket that holds it.
Ooh, I like socket. I like that
Yeah, I'm imagining
concept.
a big kind of again. My mind is writing checks that my body might not be able to cash, but I'm hoping. So let's imagine you're sneaking. I only have a couple scenes. So say one's from above, where you're kind of walking through a facility that has stripes on the floor that are kind of guiding you to an area, and then you're kind of sneaking and looking around a corner. So a close up on your face, an upper body, and kind of catching some of the eye, and then you're moving around, and then you're standing with your back toward the camera, um, kind of in a very powerful stance. With you see like this thing against the wall that'll have the sword in it. It's kind of like a socket with I don't know electronic things sticking out of it. A lot of neon going on there. and then you're going to approach it, scan your eye, and then pull the sword out. So each one of those is a completely different shot.
So I actually, when you're describing a couple of the scenes of, like the top down of the facility with like stripes on the floor, how difficult would it be to create like lasers? Like in a museum when they're, going in to steal the diamond for the heist or whatever, there's lasers,
Mm-hmm.
like motion lasers. How difficult would that be to like recreate?
I don't know, but let's try it.
That sounds fun, right?
Yeah, it does. And again, a lot of this is me attempting to learn pieces of software that I don't really know very well. So it's going to be
Uh-huh.
a slow process, but the goal is, again, if you have a, I've always found in my life that if I attempt to do something and I don't have a real reason, I don't learn it very well. But if it's like, I want to be able to paint this flower or learn this piece of software or learn this programming language or learn a language with a goal, say, I want to make this picture and I want to make it this piece of software. I'm going to fail a bunch of times, but when I eventually learn it, I'll be able to do it. So let's add that. And if I'm unable to do it on the first pass, I'm going to keep trying until I get something that works.
So, are you going to build some sort of set or are you going to build it
We're
digitally?
going to build this digitally. Um, the,
But some practical, right?
well, yes, some practical, but the goal here is I want to say my secret goal or my goal is to learn the Blender product much better than I know it now, and I know it at a amateur level, and I want to be able to really up my game. So I want to force myself to say I need to learn the tool at this level for this project, and I don't really know that at this point. But I have confidence that I can pull it off. I just need to have motivation and impetus to do so. So this is solving that problem for me. Now the end goal for me, the deliverable, let's say the deliverable, and this is not to say where I'm going to do this, but this is kind of my internal goal, is the International Print Competition has an album category, and I think there are 10 spreads required to categorize as an album, which means I need 10, at least 10 unique images to go into an album. So
Okay.
can we shoot this story and produce 10 unique images and enter it into an album? I mean, if I'm going to put this much effort
Yeah, I
into
mean,
it, I might as well shove it into this contest.
yeah, absolutely.
And it's different, you know. Again, keeping yourself unique as a photographer, uniqueness is really important since everybody with a camera is a photographer right now. Uh, so,
Yeah.
so I thought this would be kind of a fun way to force me to focus on this. I mean, it's going to take me a while. I mean, the international print competition is almost a year away, a little under a year away. So I have time. Obviously, I don't want to wait that long. But if we shoot this, it's going to take me several months to pull all these off, I think.
Yeah. But then you'll still have plenty of time
Yeah.
and time to spare. So, that's the important part.
Well, and you're close enough that if I fail, if I epically fail sauce on an image, I can say, yeah, come back. Let's try that.
Yeah, you're definitely not that far from
Well,
me.
you're
So,
not even an hour, so closer.
yeah.
So that's my thought.
Um yeah, yeah, I definitely like the idea of a story. I like the idea of the images progressing as a story. I love the idea of the sword like being in some sort of socket so it's electronic. Feasibly, what do you need from me, wardrobe wise, makeup wise? Um, Obviously, we're gonna go with black, but I definitely can see, adding a bunch of accessories on there to make it look like I'm prepared to, enter a building in stealth and steal this weapon, whatever it's for.
Have you ever read the
Um,
book Neuromancer?
no, I haven't.
So Neuromancer is pretty much the first. I want to say it's the first cyberpunk type of book ever written. I mean, it's the. I would say it's probably the canon for the whole thing. I mean, it's where it started it. And there's a character in there who's an assassin who has, like, her eyes have been replaced with optics that help her be able to see in the dark so she can kill better. Um,
Mhm.
and it's hard to figure out if she's a protagonist or an antagonist for much of the book. But I'm thinking kind of our spin on that character.
Okay.
So we can
Yeah.
play with it. It's not like you have to do anything with your eyes, that we don't have to go to that level. I think the wardrobe, just to be default, I think a tight latex black outfit with a couple of neon accents on it is good enough to tell the story using a lot of reflection in the neon or in the outfit
Mhm.
to kind of work with the form but not look like it's all kind of lost because I don't want it to just be black on black because I'm imagining most of the environment's going to be black. And if you're wearing
Yeah.
black, it's going to be kind of like, well, where is she? Well, then it's a muddy mess and nobody wants that.
Yeah, I definitely think that it would be relatively simple to create something with the stuff that I already have to make that a good outfit for the scene that we're trying to create and also make it really visible.
Yeah. And there could be some, I'm just thinking like an anime type of storyline. There could be just simple shots too. Like, for example, if you're like facing the camera but looking down because you're putting your hair up behind you into a
Mhm.
bun because you're about to go into the room and you need to focus and you don't want your hair in your eyes. Just even
Yeah.
that shot of you like gripping the hair scrunchy thing in your mouth as you're putting your hair up. It's like this.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
just even simple shots, detailed shots like that. I need to have 10 to 12 finished shots for this if I'm going to make it an album, and I might as well like set that as my goal. Even if I don't reach it, I'm going to end up with 4 or 5 amazing pictures. But it'd be nice to hit that number where I can make it an album and say, here's for international print competition. By the way, if you're an international print competition judge, don't watch any of these. Like, just shut it off, walk away. Watch Spyro's version of this because it's going to be completely different. And I don't think he plays
Yeah.
with the PPA International Print Competition. So,
Yeah, I don't recall ever seeing him make any posts about it or anything,
yeah,
but
it's a nice goal to kind of say, I don't want the opinion of random people who are like, "Oh my god, I love your work." Well, it's because I took a picture of your kid, and even if the kid's blurry, you're gonna love it because it's your kid. But I'll
yeah,
get
bias.
well, exactly, or I'll get feedback from people who like, "Oh my god, I hate your work." I'm like, "What do you do?" Well, I shoot trains in broad daylight. Yeah, that's also not helpful. So I need that professional level of feedback, and that's what the international print competition gives me. Those judges tell me these are ways that you could have improved this shot, and that's invaluable information. And so last year I had a 100, so I finished
Mhm.
second overall. I'll never do that again. That was a unicorn, like just freakish occurrence. But can I get close this year? If we work on this album and I come up with this imagery that my mind has, that my brain wants, but my hands may not be able to create, I have confidence in you. You're gonna be the easy part of this because you're gonna be able to pull off what I'm thinking of. It's just can I do the rest of it?
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I mean, I'm excited to um, be creative with building wardrobe because, I do shoot a lot of, out there stuff, but I don't know, most recently I've been shooting more fashion stuff, so like getting to build a whole outfit based around like this really crazy cool concept is super fun to me.
yeah. I can see you totally running amok with this. And if you have ideas like, oh, I'm gonna make me a little tiny stealthy grappling hooky kind of thing,
Yeah,
Batman esque, go for it. We'll come up with a couple shots that use it. But in the background, we always have to have some sort of neon element.
right.
Neon up the suit, neon reflections in the suit, neon reflections in the eye. I'm working with the very, like, neon is minimal but everywhere, and probably
Mhm.
the only use of color outside of your skin. Like, I'm trying to stay away
Yeah.
from this being, like, I know Spyro's going the other direction. He's like going this color everywhere. But that's just kind of his style. Or it was for a while, and then he kind of monochromatic himself. But, he's
It's
coming.
because he's been working with me so much.
Well, so I'm trying to push this to be the happy medium.
Yeah.
We'll see. But I
Do you want like neon hair? That would break it up a bit.
I don't think so. I'm trying to think if you were trying to sneak into this building, you would not be as well, exposed as having a lot of neon on you. I think that there's a
Mhm.
minimal amount because of that you're trying to blend in, but you're not trying to stand out.
Okay.
So that's my thought. And I'm thinking about too, of almost playing with the idea of that the neon is not really like what makes the neon? Where is it built into the wall? Is it just in the paint? So I'm actually thinking about the structure of where you're breaking into and its elements, and that's kind of where I'm coming up with the idea of this big socket with the sword, is to say this is all driven by electronics, and I want to kind of expose some of that. So maybe there's parts where you're like pulling wires out of something to defeat something. Like I'm trying to tell the story or storyboard in my mind, because each of these is a different shot, and if we plan it ahead and we shoot all the shots, then it's a matter of later on of assembling them and seeing, well, all right, here's the picture that I wanted to take, and here's the picture of Cecilia. How do I make this image work? So I'm trying to think it's like a comic book writer in a way.
Yeah, yeah. Telling a story, which is a very cool way to work backwards from, I have this concept, okay, but, where does this concept come from? And building off of it.
Yeah.
It's a cool way to do it.
Well, so any ideas you have. So if you're like, hey, this is what my character should be doing about this point, throw it out there, because it will take us a couple minutes to shoot it, especially if the lighting is similar than, a previous shoot. Then we can kind of say, well, we shot a bunch and maybe only used 10 or 15 of these, but in the end of the day, I'm going to build this set digitally. We'll be able to use it
Mhm.
in any way we'd like.
Yeah. I definitely think it would be cool, if we're going to be like pulling out wires and such. If I'm trying to like defeat something, I definitely think like droid-esque. Like if I'm pulling wires off of a droid or something, or holding a droid's head or something, would be kind of cool.
Hmm,
Like, like a patrol droid.
interesting. Yeah, I'll have to think about this. There's so many things that we can run with here, but I love the idea. It's just, I'm just going to jot them all down, and then when we shoot, I'm going to shoot as many as we can. And I think the shooting will go pretty fast. I mean, if we have 10 or 15 different pictures, it's a matter of changing the lighting so that we have some variety, because I don't want it all like
Mhm.
well lit. I want to do a lot of rim light kind of stuff, and again, playing with the idea of the neon, uh, how to incorporate that element in the shoot so I don't have to deal with it later. It's going to be a little bit of interesting, because even though I'm very very call it motivated to use post production, I'm also a person who likes to have it right in camera. So I'm trying to find
Yeah.
that happy medium. So I want both things.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we can't build an entire movie set, but we can get, lighting right and contrast right.
Yeah. Yeah, we got to get the values right. And maybe a few reflections in the suit can be made by different mechanisms so I don't have to kind of fake those on you later. So if there's
Mhm.
a neon stripe in the background, for example, I'm going to want to see that across the thigh or something like that. Otherwise, it's going to look like
Yeah.
you're disparate from the background, which isn't going to fly.
Right.
So anyway, so that's kind
Awesome.
of what I'm thinking.
Yeah. That sounds awesome. I'm super excited. I think it'll be really, really cool and very different from Spyro's idea. So that's also very exciting.
Yeah, I would highly suggest, if you haven't read Neuromancer, that you pick it up. Great book.
Okay, yeah.
Great book.
Get all, you know, homework for the photo shoot.
Yeah, and also just a great book. So I mean,
Yeah, no, it definitely sounds like something I would enjoy. So
yes. Did you watch Ink yet? By the way.
I have not.
Okay, I started The
I was
Boys,
I'm
and I'm
gonna.
addicted.
I told you it was
It
good.
is
Yeah,
very good.
I we're gonna watch it tonight, I think.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm on episode 3 of The Boys. I think I stayed up till like 1:30 last night. So I was binging it.
Oh, geez. Yeah, well, like in the first couple seconds, it
Yeah,
gets you right
it
away.
does. Yeah, I think you'll find the same thing with Ink. And it's an out there kind of movie, low budget, but really well done in the visuals, and I like the story. And it's one of those odd movies that just, I don't know why it
No,
succeeded in
I'm
my mind, but it did.
I'm super into the weird movies that maybe other people don't think are good, but I don't really care.
Well, I think you'll enjoy that one quite a bit.
Awesome.
Excellent. Well,
Awesome.
thank you for taking time out to talk with me, and
Well, thank you.
yeah, we'll set a time here in the next couple weeks. I know Christmas is kind of approaching. I don't know if we can squeak it in before Christmas or not. It probably could be a good 3 or 4 hour day, maybe not even that long. Just to kind of make sure we get all the shots and then some extras in case we want to do something else later. And then we go, oh well, we could use this shot for this scene. And
Mhm.
then as I kind of want to sketch them up or storyboard them first. So I'll probably do that as well. And then maybe I'll chat with you again once I kind of have the storyboard down to see if there's things that you have idea wise. And we can either shoot in a
Okay.
couple weeks or maybe we wait till just after Christmas to shoot it. It really depends.
Yeah, it's up to when we have time.
No, did you and Spyro set a date yet?
Yes, we did.
Is it sooner,
Um,
later?
it it is before Christmas.
Okay.
I think it's like in 2 weeks,
Okay. Well, maybe I'll
a
try and
week and a
squeak
half.
mine in that same time because you have to drive past me to get to him. So work you out.
Yeah, I mean, not that the driving really daunts me. I'll drive anywhere.
Okay. All right. Well, still, I
Yeah,
mean, still your time is valuable. So
yeah. I mean, I enjoy driving long distances. Like I went out to Ohio twice last year. I really didn't need to, but I was like, I'll shoot this and then I'll shoot this, and I'm I'm good with driving.
okay. Well, and Neuromancer's an audiobook too, so it's an easy way to do it.
Okay, there we go. I'll just listen to it on the way. No, I probably want to do a good read of it beforehand so I get a grasp of the character that you're trying to portray.
Yeah, and you'll get her in the first quarter of the book, so you don't really feel the need to finish it. But you'll have like the description of her very early on, and you'll instantly know
I
who I'm
love to
talking
read
about.
anyway. I'll probably get into it and end up finishing it.
It's a great book. Great book. Well, actually,
Yeah.
so thank you so much for joining me, and we'll catch up with Cecilia after we get the storyboard done, and we'll kind of see where we're going to go with the shoot. So everybody, thanks for joining in, and so we'll catch you next time. Everybody, stay safe.